Hey, it's Filet, and you're watching Filet TV, the ultimate YouTube channel. I'm no cinematographer, just a dude with a camera. All right, today on the Gearhead Gardener, we are in the garden. We are going to be tending to our yucca trees. They have been sitting here getting fried, and this time of year I like to strip all the leaves off in anticipation of more growth and more height and pup production. During the same time, we are going to be pulling off a bunch of pups to start a new propagation series. So if this is something you're interested in, let's get started. I'm not sure how many of you guys have been following along, but I've been doing a whole propagation series on a playlist that I call I Love Yuccas for about 8 years now. And it's been 2 years since I've done any of my last videos. In the past, I've shown you how I've cut pups down, how I propagate them in water, how I propagate them in soil, how fast it is to grow roots, how to propagate big ones. I've also showed you roadside yuccas, where I found somebody cutting down a big yucca tree and it broke my heart, so I filled up the back of my car and brought a bunch home and did a whole series on propagating yucca stumps, where they just took, you know, some 6-inch pieces of stumps that I cut, I propagated them in water and created roots, and they did really nicely. Some of them, they have been growing for 3 or 4 years now, and we're going to go back and look at some of those. Also in some of my series, I've explained to you how I strip the leaves off of the bottom of the plant every single season, actually every other season. I do it right before summer and then again right after summer, and that's what's going to give you your height and growth in here. There was a time where I was propagating these to go put on some desert property and start a little yucca oasis of our own. So I had literally 35 of these that are grown into these groups of 3, which I will also explain in this. You can see pups coming up on this group of 3. We'll even revisit one I bought at Lowe's, and I chopped the top off to grow more pups. And then I just forgot all about these, but if I go deep inside here, I saw that these were little tiny pups that were put into cups about at least a year ago, and I guess I stashed them in there and forgot. As you can see, ivy's growing through here. We've just got a massive cleanup to do. So we're gonna start with some of these smaller ones, strip all the leaves down, and then again, I will explain to you about the group of 3 and how I prefer them to look. And believe it or not, with these giant mother plants, these are also grown into groups of 3. And then I stripped them all down and then cut them off, and you can see one didn't make it. Oh, there's my buddy Rex. One didn't make it, but the rest of them all grouped off with more pups. So like I said, we're gonna pull these big, huge 150-gallon pots out, and we're gonna get all those cleaned. But first, we were gonna just start on the small ones because I could bring those into the nursery shop with the air conditioning on and take care of business. All right, I want to show you this. We're inside the shop. You can see it's just after 11 a.m. There's my thermometer I got mounted on the wall. Inside, temperature is 89 degrees inside my shop with the AC going. Outside, it says it's 131 degrees. Now I'm going to show you that wire goes straight through there to that sensor. So that's how hot it says it's going to be. Or it says that point of my house is. My infrared shows that as the temperature of the side of my house. Here's what I'm doing. I said I'm going to strip all the leaves off of this so you can see that since the last time I did anything, that's how much growth we had. I'll put a picture in there showing you what this looked like before. Remember the little oak tree in the center. So the idea is you start at the bottom and just pull down on the leaves. Doesn't take any cutting or anything. Just carefully pull the leaves down and they come off. Again, I get a lot of questions. Why do I strip that down so far? Now, my intention is stripping, like I said, as many leaves as I possibly could. Then I'm going to put it in a place where I'm going to constantly be watering it, and it's going to put a bunch more new growth on the top. And then before you know it, after a few months, we'll be able to strip this down again. Like I said, I normally do it in springtime and then the end of summer. I strip the leaves off. And you can see that is all fresh growth. Now, if you look in here, if you've been following any of my other videos, this is one of my yucca stumps where I put the arrow showing which way it's supposed to grow. Let's see if you can even see that. Yeah, so that is one of the yucca stumps that I grew. And look, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pups growing off of it. And this is just another regular pup that I put in there, and this is how much growth we have. And I'm gonna go back and post a picture of this when this was just a year or so old. All right, so this is the unit that I bought at Lowe's. The variety is elephant types. As you can see, the base looks like an elephant foot. Shortly after I stripped the leaves down, the following season, I cut it off right there. And now after a couple of years, it's grown 3 pups. So now the whole idea is I'm going to strip all of these leaves off the same way. In the last season, you can see what I stripped off there when they were really small. Now, unfortunately, these yucca leaves you cannot compost down. I tried. All right, look at that. Just after a couple of seconds, minute and a half, it's done. All right, let's grab another one. Okay, we're gonna get right into stripping this one. Same as before, but this is how I'm gonna explain to you what happens with the groups of 3 and what I'm trying to achieve for a mother plant. So like I said, like any other plant, oh yeah, this one has a fig tree growing in it. So I need to remind you how hot it is out here. My phone in the shade sitting on the tripod, it shut itself off because it was too hot. You didn't get to see me strip all these leaves, but you knew what I did. Here's my fig tree still growing. All right, so here's the ultimate goal from what my dad always reminded me of. He would take 3, put them together, they become 1. So this is what you'll see when I get to my mother plants. This is one knob right there that the 3 of these grew together. So here's another one. I'm trying to do the same thing. That's not going to happen until it's much bigger, and I'm allowing pups to happen. Okay, so here we go. These have all been stripped down to where I want them for this time of year. And now my goal is to just keep giving them a lot of water so they want to produce more leaves. I could have stripped them back further, and I might even go in again, but here I'm going to give you for comparison. This is one that I've been growing just for a couple of years without stripping it, and I'm going to continue to not remove any leaves. I had a broken leaf, so I just popped that thing off. All right, so we got the first 4 stripped out, and then we're going to move these and then work on the mother plants. That again, I'll post a couple of pictures or a video of what these things look like just a few short years ago when they were stripped completely and harvested. And I stripped a couple leaves off so we can come and take a look at what's going on inside. But you can see there's really big. Not gonna even call them pups anymore because they are full-on trees. And remember I showed you there's a couple in here in cups. I don't even know how many. All right, so we're gonna do that on the next video. We're gonna pull these big ones out, strip them, and cut off some babies. All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you again. Thanks for watching. The Gearhead Gardener here on Filet TV.